So back here again in the G-body section, I have this fine looking, guess an 83 four-door Malibu. What I want to determine is on the F-body high efficiency condenser, the lines take off in the middle. On the G-body, they take off at the top. So I want to put this in a G-body, see if it actually fits without hitting the battery tray. So I'm going to have to answer some questions before I start throwing some money down. The first one is, will the condenser fit in a G-body, the F-body condenser, and will the lines work? I would say that so far, yeah, it looks like it'll fit. I want to see if I can compare this F-body condenser to a G-body one, because I'm wondering about whether it's going to mount properly or not. Still figuring out some line issues. As you can see in this G-body Olds Cutlass, the F-body the F-body condenser fits rather well. The problem comes over here. Here's the outlet to the evaporator, and it goes straight out on a G-body. On an F-body, it bends and comes straight up, so the lines aren't going to be directly interchangeable. The more difficult part of this serpentine belt conversion was undoubtedly the air conditioning and having a functioning smog pump and air valves there. I have emissions here, so that was important to me, and it's Vegas. You can't do it without air conditioning. The problems being that the condenser on the El Camino had the outlets on the left side. I changed over to a Camino high efficiency evaporator with the outlets on the right side. The G-body Buicks and Pontiacs also had evaporators on the right side. So I started off by getting the Buick high pressure line going to the condenser. The problem with the Buick line is on a Chevy, the high side port's right there. Of course, on a Buick, it's integrated into the ports coming off the compressor. The other issue I had was how tight this is. I have my smog pump here. There's a compressor. I couldn't use the stock Buick or Pontiac G-body lines because they just went out too far and hit the smog pump. So I used the Camino lines. It made a really nasty tight bend right down here. And even to get that much bend, I had to tweak the line a little bit. But the Camino lines, because I have a V6 here, so the distance from here over to the condenser is longer than a V8 Camino, and the Camino line ended up right there, which worked out okay because I had to do a high pressure port. So what I did was I went to the junkyard, cut off this section of the condenser, cut this section off the old line, and then went over to Home Depot, picked up one of these compression fittings, and joined the two lines together. Luckily enough, I pulled a vacuum on this, and it did hold vacuum. I just put a minimal charge in the AC unit because charging the AC is not at the top of the ticket right now. So anyway, that's the compressed AC part of the serpentine belt conversion.